The blue ribbon for Best Apple Pie gleamed under the fluorescent lights of the community hall. My heart did a little flip. That ribbon should have been mine. But there was Brenda, beaming next to my pie. Or rather, what everyone thought was her pie, soaking up the applause. The scent of cinnamon and baked apples, usually my comfort, now felt like a bitter accusation. For weeks I'd been perfecting my autumn glory apple pie. It wasn't just any pie. It was a recipe passed down from my grandmother, with a secret ingredient I'd tweaked to perfection, a whisper of cardamom, and a unique lattice crust that took hours to weave. Last Tuesday, at our weekly coffee clatch, Brenda had been unusually interested in my bake-off preparations. "Oh, Carol, you have to give me a little peek at your recipe, just a tiny hint," she'd cooed, all sweetness and light. Like a fool, flattered by the attention, I jotted down a few key measurements: 3 pounds of Honey Crisps, a half cup of brown sugar, my special spice blend, on a spare napkin. I didn't give her the whole thing, mind you, especially not the cardamom or my crust technique. But I guess I gave her enough. This morning, arriving at the bake-off, I saw it, her pie. It was a dead ringer for mine, right down to the slightly imperfect crimp on the left side that I always make. She'd even managed a passable version of my lattice, though it lacked the finesse. When she winked at me, a little too brightly, a cold knot formed in my stomach. She'd always been competitive, but this was outright theft. Stealing someone's pie recipe in this town is like a cardinal sin. As Mr. Henderson, our esteemed head judge, began his laudatory speech about Brenda's innovative take on a classic, I felt a fire light inside me. This wasn't just about a ribbon anymore. It was about integrity, about years of tradition. Brenda was simpering. "Oh, it was just a little something I whipped up. A family secret, you know." That was the last straw. Taking a deep breath, I stepped forward. The murmuring in the hall quieted. "Excuse me, Mr. Henderson," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "Brenda, everyone. I have something I need to say about that family secret." Brenda's smile faltered. "Carol, dear, what are you on about? Don't make a scene." "Oh, I think it's important," I replied, pulling a small, well-worn recipe card from my apron pocket. "Because that pie, or at least the heart and soul of it, came from my family. Specifically from this recipe card, handwritten by my grandmother, Agnes." I walked towards the judge's table. "Mr. Henderson, if you'd look closely at the spice profile, you might detect a hint of cardamom. And the lattice work, while a good attempt, is a simplified version of a technique I've been using for years. I even have a photo on my phone of the pie I baked this morning, identical in every key detail, time-stamped at 7:02 a.m. A hush fell over the room. Brenda's face had gone from triumphant pink to a blotchy, guilty red. She stammered, "Well, I might have been inspired by some of Carol's techniques. Great minds think alike, right?" Mr. Henderson, a man who didn't suffer fools gladly, adjusted his glasses. He picked up a fork and took another, more considered bite of the pie. He then looked at my recipe card, then at the photo on my phone which I held out. He cleared his throat. "Well, Brenda, inspiration is one thing. This level of similarity, especially with Mrs. Peterson's documented evidence, is concerning." The other judges started whispering, their eyes darting between Brenda and me. You could have heard a pin drop. Mr. Henderson finally announced, "In light of this new information, the judges will need to reconvene." He didn't look at Brenda. I didn't get the blue ribbon that day. The judges decided to declare no winner in the apple pie category, a diplomatic move. But as I walked out of that hall, head held high, several folks came up to pat my arm, whispering, "Good for you, Carol. Brenda scurried out, her face burning. It wasn't about the prize. It was about standing up for myself, for my grandmother's legacy. For years, I'd let people like Brenda overshadow me, always trying to keep the peace. But that day, I found my voice, right there amongst the sugar and spice. And let me tell you, that felt sweeter than any blue ribbon ever could.